And my guest today is Anthi. Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Victoria. How are
Yeah,
you?
thanks for being here. So tell me, where are you right now?
I'm in Tashkent in Uzbekistan at the moment.
Oh,
We've been
okay.
here 8 months now, so quite new. Yeah.
Okay. Why? I mean, not like why, but it's like not the typical place where people pick to
Right.
move to. Like, so how come you're in Uzbekistan?
Okay. So my husband is a teacher and teaches
Mm-hmm.
in big international schools. And I
Uh-huh.
also used to be a teacher, but I've stopped and do something else now. But we were in Kenya before coming here, and we knew it was time to leave.
Mm-hmm.
We'd been there 6 years, which is our sort of
Okay.
limit. And so he was like, "Where should we go? Where should we go?" And then one day I was looking online because I'm quite into architecture, and somebody had posted a link to the Tashkent metro stations. Now, Tashkent tourism plug here, the metro stations are unbelievable. Like
Is it the place where
chandelier.
everything is golden and
Yes, yes,
shiny and like
yes,
crazy?
yes, yes. The
Yes.
chandeliers, and like every station is themed, and like there's the space station and the Olympic station. So they're
Okay.
unbelievable. So I sent the
Okay.
link to my husband. I was like, "Hey, let's go here. These metro stations look cool."
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. Sure. Let's hang out there all
What,
the time.
like what are the lists? The thing, because you have a list, right? When you're choosing where you're going to move
Yeah,
to, you have a
yeah, sure.
list. And it changes. It changes with your age. But one of the things, and your relationships and your experiences, but one of the things I had said, I was like, I want public transport. We've lived
Yeah.
in two
Mhm.
countries now with no public transport.
Yeah,
I was like,
no.
I want to go somewhere with public transport. So I found these metro stations. I was like, this is not just public transport. This is high level public transport.
Uh-huh.
So uh, he looked at one of the big schools here, and he was like, "This was already on my list as a school. It's a good school. It's got a great
Oh, okay.
reputation." So we were like, "Okay." And then it just happened. A job came up for him, which is luck, like, and he applied for it, and he was offered it.
Uh-huh.
Um, and he was offered some other jobs in other countries too. But he was like, "I think let's do it." And so here we are. That was it.
Okay. All right. And so how is it there? I mean, I don't know. It's a very vague question, but so like
Yeah.
how is it different? Or like yeah.
Okay, so it's a country that was really closed until quite recently. It had very strict laws about immigration and about visas, and you could come here as a foreigner. It was open, but it was more kind of it took more effort to get here. Um,
Also as a tourist?
yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And now it's really opened up, and the government here is amazing, and they're very pro tourism, and they're very into foreign investment. So they're really kind of really opening up in a way that they hadn't been like 30 years ago.
Okay.
And so you really feel that. So that's part of it. It feels like you're in this country of like in a real growth stage,
Mhm.
um, which is amazing.
And is it also very modern? Because like that's how the pictures look. But then
Right.
also like I would imagine it's also very traditional.
Yes. Yeah. It's a really unusual place. It's not, I would say it's Tashkent is not as modern as some of the others. Like you might look at some of the other Central Asian cities. I think like somewhere like Almaty, for example, super modern skyscraper sort of stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's not quite like that. But it's a really interesting mix of modern, like the roads are incredible, 3 lanes in each direction, just your local road. Um, Super good infrastructure in that sense. But then the whole atmosphere is fascinating because you've got these Soviet blocks, very Soviet. We call them Moscow blocks. We live in one that were built, and were given free housing for workers. And then
Ah,
you've got
okay.
yeah, and then you've got very kind of like strong sort of Islamic architectural sort of sniffs around the place, like little things that you think, oh, that's that tiling or that pattern. And then you've got more modern stuff, like a lot of sort of Paris inspired, like Russian, Parisian inspired buildings
Okay.
that have carried into the Uzbek culture as well. So building, and then you've got very modern glass apartment blocks. So it's a very strange city to drive through. You feel like you're seeing 100 years of history in one drive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
Okay. And like and culturally?
It's a big mix. So ethnically, there's a lot of different ethnic groups here. There's Uzbek, which is sort of like a Turkic group, and then there's Tatars, and there's Russians, and so many different groups. Very Central Asian groups, very sort of Northern Russian groups also that moved here. A lot of Greeks who came here at the end of the Greek Civil War. They went to Russia and then they came here. A huge Korean population.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, like second generation. So it's a really big mix of people. And so you feel that in the culture.
Yeah.
There's an openness to the culture, like that you know, that it's obviously it's a majority Muslim country, 90 something percent. Um, and still there's that kind of openness of you can actually be who you are. There's no
Okay.
yeah, you can be who you are. Like I'm Greek, and everyone's fine with that. I feel more at home here than I have felt since I left Greece, like 30 years ago. Yeah,
Okay. So Greece is where you're from originally.
yeah, hmm
Yes. Okay. So it's a very um welcoming mix of
yeah,
cultures.
yes,
Is
yeah.
this
It is.
okay?
Yeah.
And the language, it's like Turkish, a little bit like.
So a Turkish friend of mine here
Uh-huh.
has said to me, it sounds like Turkish and it looks like Turkish. And in theory, she should be able to understand all of it. In practice, she doesn't. She understands a lot of it, but it's one of those weird things, she says, where you're listening to it thinking, I should know what this means, but I actually have no idea what this means.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So she gets by, like she can speak Uzbek to people, she can read it and understand it, but it's definitely a Turkic
Yeah.
language,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
And then the other language here obviously is Russian. Um, a lot of the public stuff is still done in Russian. They're trying to move away from that. They're trying to they're looking for that Uzbek identity to bring that back more strongly.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot still in Russian. And I have to be honest, when I came here, I really wanted to learn Uzbek. I was like,
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
Okay.
come
And how is that
on,
going?
let's. And then I got here and I was like, this language is like, I have no idea what is,
Okay.
it makes no sense. The rhythm is, there's nothing. Whereas
Okay.
Russian, I'm like, I get this. So I'm starting with Russian. My son
Mm-hmm.
learns Russian at school and he's finding it
Mm-hmm.
super easy.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was like, we can practice a lot of, I was like, and it just makes more logical sense to me. So I'm going with Russian. We'll see how it goes. Please don't ask me to
Okay.
say anything.
Oh no, I won't. So and then also like you just came 8 months ago, and so it's still kind of new, right? Do
Yeah.
you How did you make friends, or did you already find a community, or like is it when you are going with like an international school? Is it already like you're very welcome there and you're going to whatever parties from your
Yeah.
husband's coworkers?
Yeah. That. Um,
That.
yes, it depends on the school.
Mhm.
Some schools are very good at building community. Some schools are really not. This school is incredibly good at building
Oh, that
community.
is nice.
Yeah. So we arrived, and when we arrived, there was quite a big group of new teachers this year. I want to say in total, including family members, there was about 20 of us.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so you all arrive together and you stay in a hotel all together. Um, and you go out looking for apartments. It's a bit like Hunger Game apartment hunting. You're kind of
Uh-huh.
going all over the city. You have no idea where in the city you are, but you're just trying to find somewhere to live. Um,
Okay. And you said that is usually like your school is taking care of that?
so yeah, you have to find the place you like.
Ah, okay. So
Yeah,
they help you with the financing, but
yeah.
you're still gonna pick your own.
Yeah, you've got to
Yeah,
pick
okay.
five.
Uh-huh.
Which is a wild experience in itself. There's a guy that helps you from school, and then I had already met somebody online who was who was a Russian Uzbek, but who spoke Greek, and so
Oh, okay. There you go.
he and I had been talking, and he's an estate agent, and he was like, "I have a place for you that you'll like." So we came to see it one night. Oh, the day we got off the plane, we looked at some places, and then we came to see this apartment. It was like 9 o'clock at night. We got in the back of this car with this guy and his girlfriend. This guy I didn't know. He wasn't my friend because my friend's not here
Yeah.
at the moment. So this guy comes to pick us up from the hotel. He's like, "Hey, I'm so and so's friend." So we get in the car, us and our son. We're driving through downtown Tashkent at like 9 o'clock at night. I have no idea where we are. We start talking, and he's like, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Oh, Greece, I'm Greek." And he's like, "Oh, I love Greek music." So then
Okay.
he puts on all this Greek music. He's got his windows down. His girlfriend's like, "Oh my God."
So embarrassing.
And he brings us to see this apartment. It was lovely, and the landlady's lovely. And so we were like, "Yeah, this is it." So we found a place to live within 12 hours of getting off the
Okay,
plane.
perfect.
Yeah,
Quick. Yeah,
yeah,
nice. Uh-huh.
done. Yeah. And then the school community is great. Our son has a lot of friends there, and he hangs out with them after school, and
Mhm.
they play together. Um, and
And
then
your son always goes to the schools where your husband is teaching?
he does now. Yeah, now
Yeah.
he's 6, so
Uh-huh.
he's in grade 1,
Okay.
and so that's hard too, right? Because you're looking for a job that my husband will be happy with. You're
Yeah.
looking for a city that we will all be happy with.
Yeah.
I'm looking for community was the biggest thing for me because our
Mm.
last place I struggled with that. It was really hard for me.
Yeah.
So for me, this time around, I was like, I will sacrifice this stuff for community this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, you don't wanna be
Um,
alone. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And it's got to be a school that's good fit for our son, right? So
Mhm.
it's a lot of things to consider. And we feel like we've done really well this time. The school
Okay.
was fantastic. Our son loves it. I've made friends so easily. I make friends with parents, but I won't
Mhm.
lie. I'm in the teacher camp, which is weird. Um, I find it much easier to make friends with teachers than with other parents.
Okay, because you used to be a teacher?
Yes, I think that's
Yeah.
part of it. Like that feels like they're my people still, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I was in education for over 25 years. Like that is who I am. That's such a big part of my identity.
Sure.
Um, and so I have parent friends and they're lovely. Uh, but if you said to me, like, who are you going to call for a cup of tea and a slice of cake?
A
It's always going to
teacher.
be a teacher. Yeah, always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so but then it's, if that school is very open and, like, very strong with the community, then I guess you're in a good space there.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
we really
yeah.
are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled.
Yeah. But you've been, is it, always, like, 6 years that you, have to commit to a place? Or, like,
No.
how is it?
So the way it works is most of the schools that we go to, you do 2 years to start, and
Mhm.
then you're on like a 2 year or a 1 year rolling contract.
Okay.
Just depends. 1 year they can not renew your contract, and I guess that's a very strong message. But my husband is a very good teacher, so we're good.
Okay.
So he does 2 years, and then I don't know. International teaching is a bit weird. Like, let's say we're in school year 25, 26.
Mhm.
If he wants to leave, let's say this was the end of 2 years here,
You're
and
right, right.
he wants to leave, he has to resign in August to October of 26 to then leave at the end of that 27 school year.
Ah,
So
okay. So you have
yeah,
a long time ahead.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, wow. So you have
yes,
to, like, I mean, he has to
yeah,
just commit for another school year, basically.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You have to decide at the end of a school year if you're going to stay for the whole of the next school year.
Yeah, uh-huh, sure.
Um,
I mean, for
you're
the
kind of
school side, it makes sense.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah.
And then all international teachers, they all recruit at exactly the same time. So from September time all the way through to April, People are job
Mhm.
hunting all over the world. And so you have to resign so your school can then advertise to get. So
Uh-huh.
it's a really weird place, Victoria. I'm not going to lie. It's quite a weird little subculture of weirdness in
I
the
I
international world.
so is it always that you feel like you kind of have your bags packed?
Do you know? So I used to think it would be like that when we
Mhm.
first when we so I worked in international development for years, and I did literally always have a bag packed. I was never at home.
Mhm.
I lived in London, but I saw my apartment for a week every 2 months, maybe.
Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
So then when I left that and I went into teaching and I taught in England for a while, it felt very static for me. And
Mhm.
so we moved then to Manila thinking, oh, we'll do a couple of years and see how it goes. Um, and we were there for 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah, a
All
long
right.
time.
That's a long time.
It is. So some teachers in this field will do 2 years, 3 years, 2 years, 4 years. I think we're probably the kind of 5 to 7 years.
Oh, I
That's,
see. But
you
is
know,
it then also that you could stay longer if you say like, "Oh, I rooted here. Can we just whatever
yeah,
stay here?"
yeah, you can. Some
Okay.
countries have visa laws where they're not allowed to do that. So
Mhm.
Kenya, for example, Kenya visa laws are that you can only stay for 10 years as a foreign hire, which means after 10 years, you lose all of the things that make it feasible to stay there, really. And not just financially feasible, but you lose like your healthcare.
Oh,
You
I
have to start
see.
paying for that.
Oh,
You lose your
and
flights, things like that. Yeah,
okay. But was it also I mean, nobody wants to stay then there. But would they offer also like a whatever permanent residency or something?
no. So then you would still be on a working visa.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you're no longer considered a foreigner. But also you're not Kenyan, so you don't get any of the perks of being,
Ah, okay.
you,
So it's not very I don't know, not
yeah.
very whatever, you don't want it.
I feel
Basically.
like you have to have a reason, either because, like you say, you've rooted and you're like, I
Yeah,
don't actually feel like a foreigner here anymore, um, or because you've married or you've created a
sure.
family, which happens a lot, obviously.
Uh-huh.
A lot of our friends here also have Uzbek partners, Uzbek children, so you stay. But then you're not really a foreigner anyway, so it's different.
Yeah,
You
no,
move
you are
into that
like into
local.
a
Yes,
family. Yes.
yeah, exactly. I think for us, um, we're again we have a 10 year here also. That's the most that we can stay until we
Okay.
would start losing certain benefits.
Mhm.
Um, I think my husband and for the first time, feel like that's possible, that we might actually choose to stay here
Okay.
that long. Um, but also, never say never. And
Yeah, yeah, of
there's a whole
course.
world out there. So we'll see. Yeah.
And do you um did you always live an international life?
Yes. Yeah. So my mum was English, my father was Greek. I grew up in Athens, but I went to an international school from grade one. Um, And I always knew that I was going to go out of Greece. I just knew. So I went to England to university, and then I never went back again. Um,
Okay. So that
yeah,
it's just like that's all you knew kind of. If you
yeah,
already like have like two parents from two different places going to
yeah,
international school,
yeah,
it's just like what you knew, right?
yeah,
So it was
yeah.
all the logic.
Right. It would be
Yeah.
weird to me, like, every now and then we go, should we go back to Greece? And we could send our son to Greek school, and that would be good for his Greek, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, that feels so weird to me. Like, I feel so Greek. Like, that is my identity, is 100%. That is who I am.
Uh-huh.
And also, there's a worry about going back because I'm not Greek enough to be Greek. I'm not English enough to be. I mean, I'm definitely not English these days. That's a whole other conversation. I'm not.
Oh, you
Don't get me
sound
started.
though.
Don't get me started. I know. I put it on Twitter for people. I could do my Greek accent if you would prefer.
Oh, no. You're good. Whatever you like, whatever feels most natural to you.
But it's like, but you have to be comfortable with belonging Belonging almost becomes a belonging with people,
Mhm.
um, rather than a belonging in a place.
Mhm.
Um, and so when I go back to Greece, we have a home there. And I know when I'm there, everyone sees me as Greek and from that place. They're very like, this is home, this is where you're from. Because Greeks are like
Ye
that, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We're lucky like that. It doesn't matter if you've gone for 70 years, if you come back to Greece,
This is your
you're home.
place.
This is it,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
That's what happens when you're a very small number of people, right? You get desperate. You're like, we'll take anyone. So that feels good. And I feel like that's what sustained me in being able to move around, is that feeling that is there.
Mhm.
Um, Equally, it would be weird to me to go back right now.
Okay. So for the other people who were there, it would be like perfectly normal. Just
Yeah,
for you, you would feel like out of place.
yeah, yeah. For now,
Yeah.
for now. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
All right, let's talk a little bit about what you are doing right now.
yeah. So, you tell me, where do you want me to start? From the
Okay, yeah,
beginning?
so yeah, let's talk about the parent coach for expat families.
Okay. So when we moved to Kenya, we had our son. He was 7 weeks old, so he was very tiny. We had the perfect teacher baby in that he was born on the last day of the school year. So
Yeah.
we,
Yeah, I have friends who scheduled it like that too.
yeah,
Teachers,
brilliant,
yes,
brilliant.
yes,
And then you think, like, at what point do you call it off and you've missed this year and you've got to wait till next year? But
yeah.
anyway, so perfectly timed. But we actually had to leave. We were in Manila and we had to leave there early and flew to Greece to have him because we wouldn't have been able to get a passport in time for him
I
to get
see.
out of the Philippines.
Oh, okay, so you were like thinking all ahead of time,
Yes.
like passport, like
Yeah. Yeah.
what
Right.
country is he born in,
Yes.
and all the whole
Yeah.
thing.
It was what we had the Greek embassy in Manila on the phone, and I was trying to get them to see if they could get a passport quickly enough for us to be able to have him in Manila, because I wanted to have him in Manila. I had a great doctor. I'd been there for 7 years. It was home, right? I had
Yeah.
friends. I was we taught in a school that was fantastic, and I felt very supported by the school. So I thought, right, that's what I would like to do. I would like to have him here. But the Greek embassy in Manila was like, it's never going to happen. You're never going to get the passport in time
Okay.
to leave the Philippines, because my husband had quit his job, like I said, very early. We knew where we were going. We knew we were going to Kenya. And so they were like, you're never going to get the passport for him in time to leave Manila to get to Kenya for the new school year.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get permission from school to leave early and before the end of the school year, which was fine. And we went to Greece and we basically lived in an Airbnb for a month before we had him and then 2 months afterwards, so three
Okay.
months. So, yeah, his first home was an Airbnb in Athens.
He doesn't
She
know.
did. No, he has no idea. I had a great doctor in Athens. He was born in a very nice maternity unit in Athens. And so that was nice. It was good actually. And my mum and dad were still alive at that time, so they lived in Athens.
So you had some
Um,
help. Yeah.
yeah, it was nice. It felt good, um, because I had been disappointed to not be able to have him in Manila because that felt so much like home by then.
Okay.
But equally, it was nice. It was nice, and actually, turns out it was a good thing because it's much easier to get paperwork from Athens than Manila
Oh yeah, I imagine.
once you've left, right? So yeah, so we had him there, and then at 7 weeks, we flew with him to Kenya.
Okay, so your husband had a
Um,
new job then?
New job, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a small dog. This is quite a good story. We have a small dog. She comes as hand luggage, right, under the
Uh-huh.
seat in front of you. So, but she's not allowed to. She's allowed to fly from Athens to Tanzania, but not into Kenya. To go into Kenya, she has to go as cargo. She takes Prozac, this dog. This dog is not a
Mm-hmm.
cargo dog, right? She's a bit of a snob. So we were like, well, we can't do that. So we flew from Athens to Tanzania, and then we were going to drive across the border with her
Uh-huh.
and this baby. But then our
Okay.
flight was delayed, so we missed a connecting flight. So then we had to go from Athens. We flew as far as Cairo. Then we missed the flight. So then we spent a night at Cairo airport on chairs with a dog and a baby.
Ah, great.
Then we flew back up to Istanbul. And then from
Oh.
Istanbul, flew back down to Arusha, which is where we intended to go, and then drove over the border to Nairobi.
Oh, what a
Um,
trip.
it was supposed to take like 16 hours, which is reasonable in our,
Yeah, no, but it
yeah,
took like 36
took like
hours.
36 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
36 hours with like, and then none of our luggage turned up. None of it,
Of course. Of
of
course.
course. So
Yes.
we arrived with this in the middle of the night with this baby and this dog. Like, just, oh, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Well, it seemed like such a good idea at the time. And even the people at the school were like, what the fuck
What are you
kind of a trip
doing?
is that? Why
Yeah.
don't you just, for the dog? And we were like,
Yes, for the
dog?
dog. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
We had the dog before the baby, so
Okay, so it's your baby.
this
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we got there, and we did get our luggage in the end. It was in Cairo airport, and a good friend of ours had an uncle who was in the military, the Egyptian army, like very high up, had
Mhm.
retired. But we phoned our friend, and I believe that his uncle got on the phone to the airport and was like, "Get the luggage." So
Oh, I see.
magically,
Yeah, magically they
right,
it happened. It appeared. Okay.
it appeared, which is great, right? Because you got a baby and you've got nothing. So for 3 weeks, we had to
Yeah.
borrow from complete strangers, um, cribs, clothes, everything.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Mhm.
But it was okay. But I feel like it was funny, and also obviously there's a stress. And then a couple of months after we got there, my husband was in a really bad accident, and almost killed,
Oh.
a vehicle accident. So then he was home for 3 weeks off work
Uh-huh.
on crutches. So I had
Oh,
him
okay.
and this baby and a dog on Prozac.
Oh my god.
Um,
So that you had a lot.
yeah. And so
Uh-huh.
then things started to unravel a bit.
Mhm.
Um, about 3 months after that, COVID started.
Oh.
So things unraveled some more.
Mhm.
And then there was a point where I had therapy, which was fine, but I was still just incredibly angry all the time and
Mhm.
incredibly miserable,
Mhm.
and really some very, and I'm happy to go into it, but I also don't want to upset listeners, but some very, really horrible thoughts and
Mhm.
ideations. And
Mhm.
so I went back to therapy, and it takes time to find a therapist that you feel comfortable with, and it took me a
Yeah.
long time.
Uh-huh.
Um, so somewhere in that, I started to connect with mums online,
Okay.
because there was no mums in our community at the school that were
Ah,
in that.
okay.
Yeah,
Not like, any of the teachers. And
no,
also, like, the kids that were, like,
no.
6 years older than you were, so you could not, like, connect.
That's it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was very isolating. And then, of course, with COVID, we actually
COVID, you were
moved back to
isolated.
Greece. Yeah,
Yes.
we left Kenya. We went to Greece for 6 months, um, because we didn't know, who knows what's going to happen. And I was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
better go and see my mum and dad, because they were both very ill and very old. Well, not very old, but
Mhm.
very ill. So we were back in Greece. So I was even more disconnected.
Sure.
Jake was at work all day online, and we were stuck in an apartment with none of our stuff, with this child.
Everything was very unideal.
Yes, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I got into WhatsApp groups, Nairobi WhatsApp groups, mum groups, just chatting. And then over time, I started to sort of be talking to people and not advising, because I don't like that approach, but I guess what you would say, like coaching, but without any recognition if that's what I was doing.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, and then I said to my husband, I was like, I need somebody to help me with my parenting.
Mhm.
So I got a coach, but I went into a coaching program that coached me and then taught me to be a coach. So it was a six
Mhm.
month program of being coached and then coaching.
Okay.
And yeah, 6 months, 3 months of being coached, 3 months of practice coach of taking other people
Yeah,
through the
sure.
process, right?
Uh-huh.
And my husband was like, "You might as well get a job, Anthony, doing this because you're on your phone in these groups 8 hours a day anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe someone could pay you for it." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I trained as a doula, thinking that's what I wanted, but it wasn't quite. And then I started the coaching, um, and then that really helped me to be kinder to myself
Mhm.
and be a better parent, because I was always, I always say to parents, you're always trying your best with the resources available to you. But I
Okay.
was so badly resourced. Like I had no resources. I had no, I had financially, we were very comfortable, but I had nothing else.
Mhm.
I didn't have friends. I didn't have family. I didn't have a network. I didn't have a career anymore. I didn't have anything,
Yeah.
right? Um, and so really the parent coaching that I did for myself got me to a space of feeling good about myself again after a long time of
Mhm.
not feeling good.
Mhm.
Um, and then I did another year-long coaching qualification as an extension to
Okay.
it.
Uh-huh. Could you
And
do all this online?
yes, it was all
Mhm.
online.
Mhm.
It's very intense, though. It was every week, 3, 4 hours a week online, very like digging, poking all the time, asking questions of yourself, like a very difficult emotional journey. You have to really be comfortable with discomfort,
Uh-huh.
particularly when you're training to be a coach, right? It's not counseling, it's not therapy, but it's like psychologists, and so they all have their own therapist. It's like that.
Yeah.
You're digging into stuff that's
Mhm.
feels very vulnerable with a room full of strangers, basically, right?
Sure.
Um, so I did that, and at some point along there, I set up my business, coaching other parents, and I sort of for a while was feeling around who are my people, who do I want to coach, who do I want to work with,
Mhm.
and then I realized like I want to work with people like me who have had this incredible life, super successful, ticked all the boxes, did everything right, was on the up at work, had a child, and hit a wall basically
Yeah.
of just feeling completely incompetent after decades of high competency.
Mhm.
And so that's what I built the business around now. Um, yeah,
And when you were still like in the beginning in the WhatsApp groups, and that was already just more foreigners, like foreign mothers,
no,
or
that was a
was it
real mixture.
just a mixture, like anybody
Yeah,
who's new to parenting who is in
yeah.
Nairobi?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so I did a lot of pro bono work in Nairobi. I did a lot of free, very low cost workshops. I had a mum once who came to one of my workshops, a Kenyan mum who would travel 3 hours on a bus to get to my workshop, do the
Oh
workshop,
wow.
and then 3 hours home. And she did that for 3 weekends, to a series of three workshops. Um, I had I did a lot of free coaching for mums with children with autism,
Mhm.
who were really struggling. A lot of Kenyan mums in the Kenyan system who were trying to find their way and navigate, um, you know, neurodiversity, which is very difficult for any parent to navigate anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
But particularly in a public school system. In Greece, it's the same. In Kenya, here it would be the same. It's difficult. In the UK, it's a nightmare at the moment. Um, so yeah, that was interesting and that was hard. Um, at some point, I got a diagnosis myself of ADHD, which explained a lot of
A
my own
lot.
mental health. Yes, a
Yes.
lot. I take good meds now, though. They're very good. They're very good. They help. They help.
And
Yeah.
so without taking away too much
Yeah.
from what you are doing, but like who are the mothers who are contacting you, and what are they really hoping to gain?
Yeah. So I think there's three, I would say, sort of categories almost of
Uh-huh.
parents who get in touch with me. One is couples, a lot of mixed culture families, cross cultural families, or families who are from the same country, but a country that will have a very diverse culture of
Regional
parenting.
cultures.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
very diverse parenting culture, let's say. So that's one group, and I love working with couples. Is I love it. It's fun and it's interesting, and there's the dynamic obviously between adults to work through, and then there's the dynamic between two very different people. And honestly, most couples come to me because they worry that they're very different in their style.
Yeah.
And a lot of the work I do is about persuading them basically that, like, it's okay to parent different.
Uh-huh.
You are different people. You will never
Yes.
parent the same.
Yes.
Um,
I mean,
yeah,
honestly, I think, I mean, my husband is German, same as
right.
me, but like we have also so many
Right.
different parenting styles. And I think, and if I'm thinking um, in my friend groups who have also kids, it's the main struggle is like
Yes.
my parenting style and my partner's parenting style is so different, and we're really, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's like it's the main conflict in the house.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's true. And I think there's a fear with that, isn't it? Because you're constantly somewhere, this message came up about not confusing children and consistency being important.
Yeah.
And we've all grabbed onto that and we're all like, oh my God, I'm going to really screw up my child if we do this differently. Um, and one of the things I really hate, like I'm so against, is scripts. I'm so tired of parent scripts. I can't even begin to
Oh yeah.
explain to you. I'm so over it. Like the books and the Instagram accounts, and they're
Oh no,
useful.
no,
But,
I don't follow any of
oh
them anymore.
God, no!
I mean, I don't think I ever
Like
did, but
I cannot, like, and you start using words that aren't your own. And this tends to happen with couples because they're trying to align. And so one parent will be like, you should say this and you should say that. And, I build my whole business on three things. One is responsibility, like own your shit, just own it, right?
mhm.
You're the adult, you're the parent. This is our job. Like this is our job to own this stuff. And so that's a big part of it.
Mhm.
And then the other one is being authentic and being yourself and
Yep.
just accepting that this is who you are and the different parts of you make you who you are. And a big part of that is not using scripts and really tuning into your instinct as a parent,
Mhm.
hearing that real inner voice of self so that you don't need the scripts because you can actually what to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I find couples really struggle with. And then the other one is presence, being able to be
Being
emotional,
there.
be there in yourself as well as with
Yes.
people, right? But I find the middle one is what couples struggle with, right? Because there's always one parent that I work with who's like, this is the correct way. This is the correct
Uh-huh.
way to do it. And then the other parent's like, I don't agree. And I'm trying to help them to be authentic and true to themselves,
Uh-huh.
while still being aligned, not in the way that they parent necessarily, but in the goal of their parenting.
Mhm.
Like, what is our goal? And I do a lot of
Mhm.
values-based work, really. A lot of like, okay, what is your goal for your child here? Not like college, not that, screw that. I mean, like, if somebody was going to describe your child in 5 words when they're an adult, what would you want those 5 words to be?
Are you asking me?
No, but you're welcome to answer. I'd love
Oh,
to hear.
I don't know. I think no, I just want independent,
Uh-huh.
secure, um I don't know, happy,
Yeah.
and I don't know, 5 words. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, just yeah, be capable of life, and
Right.
acceptant.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard though, isn't it? Right? You're
Yeah,
like,
it is hard.
oh, I'll send you the toolkit, Victoria.
It's like, okay.
But it is, and it's a big thing that, and a lot of parents say to me, they're like, oh my God, we've never even talked about this. Like, we're so busy doing the day to day, keeping them alive, keeping them fed, keeping them in school, you know, the college fund, especially like a lot of international families, that's an issue. We're lucky we're
Uh-huh.
European, but not everyone is, right?
Right, right.
So the college fund's a big problem. Um, Choosing the right school is a big problem for a lot of international families because there's a lot of choice and a lot of
Right.
conflicting.
Yes.
So by the time they've done all that, they're like, we haven't really thought about the deep and meaningful stuff. We're just surviving here, right? So I do a lot of that with couples.
I see. Uh-huh.
The other group of parents I work with a lot is mothers who are a bit like I was, just very, very emotionally threadbare, empty,
Mhm.
and a lot of mums who come to me really desperate to we talk about losing ourselves. I don't believe that we lose ourselves. I think we just discover parts of ourselves we didn't know we had, and that's really quite confronting. So I do
Uh-huh.
a lot of work with those mothers around parts work, um, just like exploring who you are today, and
Yeah.
accepting and kind of
Yeah.
rediscovering self.
Yeah. No, that is really helpful. I mean, I can 100% um feel the situation. It's
Yeah,
also a little bit my back. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
That kind of it's almost a re-self access. It's like a rebirth. I'm not very into kind of reparenting. People talk about inner child, and that I guess that's the type of work. But I prefer parts. It feels I'm a scientist by training, so that feels a lot more kind of organized and structured, and that's appeals
Yeah.
to a lot of the people that I work with. Right?
Yeah.
They like structure.
I
Um,
know. Yes, I
and
mean,
then
I always think like of parenting because I know so many people who always struggle when the children are little. Like
yes,
because like I'm always like it's just that phase when they're little because like first like for you it's your adjustment is new. It's not that long ago that you could live the life that you wanted.
oh,
Now you have to like take care of the other person.
oh,
Somebody is dependent on you, So
yes,
it's hard to like accept it. And
yeah.
then also it gets easier when the kids are back in school, then you have like more time to do
Mhm.
what you want to do again.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
I don't know, that beginning part is really hard. For me it
It is.
was too, yeah.
It's for me too. Just switching off, right, and just thinking it's okay to let this go today. Um, it's okay to do nothing. Like, and even now, I say to my husband, I'm like, I did nothing today, and he was like, you literally spent all day with your child, and I was like, that's true. But we're so used to being on, right, and
Yeah,
that's the,
yeah.
that's the third group of parents I work with, primarily mums, but I do have some dads also who are so used to being successful, but then find that all the things that made them successful at work are actually terrible for
For
parenting.
parenting, yeah, it does not combine, right? Because you
No,
have to be on for 100% in order to be successful.
yeah,
But like combining both is like
no, yeah, right. And imagine if you're a parent who, before your child, your success was like a measure of your professional success, which it is for a lot of us, right? Particularly like
Mhm.
our generation. This was the way we were raised. Um, And so all the things that you're good at work, though, are things like fixing stuff, getting stuff done, being organized, being on time.
Mhm.
And then suddenly you have a child, and those things are a disaster. Like, none of those things are good for parenting. None of them, right? Being a fixer is like one of the worst things in parenting,
Okay.
right? That kind of like, let me fix, like, I'm going to do everything,
Yeah.
right? Timekeeping, forget it. Like toddler time is not adult time. These are two very different things.
Yeah.
That was one I had to let go of, right? The kind of
Mhm.
being on time, getting jobs done in the day,
Right. Oh, yeah, impossible.
impossible, right? But and so I think if you're used to that and that's a measure of your success, then there's a
Y
big shift there for people,
Mhm.
right? Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And how do you what is the main struggle for mothers who are raising a child somewhere else that is not home? Like, what do you find they're struggling with the most?
I think one is that what we always talk about, the very kind of classic no village support, a bit like I
Mhm.
experienced in
Yeah.
Kenya. Um, it takes time to build those relationships with people. And the older you get, the harder it gets to do that. We all know that. So I think that's a big part of it. I think when your children get older, a lot of mums really worry about education,
Mhm.
school choice,
Yeah.
college, that sort of stuff is a really big thing for a lot of parents that I work
Yeah.
with. Um, and then I think the one that, people don't, I think they don't identify it so clearly, but is one that comes up a lot to me when I listen to people is that whole identity and belonging piece that I talked about at the beginning from my
Mhm.
perspective. The idea of, I had a mum the other day say to me, that her son goes out with friends and culturally this is very difficult for her. And, she wants him to understand that this is not how we do it in our culture, even though this
Uh-huh.
culture, and this idea
Right,
of
right.
like, how do I keep my cultural and ethnic and national identity and nurture that in my child so that there's a belonging piece and an identity piece there, um, without cutting them off from
Mhm.
a world of opportunity, of learning opportunities and experiences that they could have. And that's a really difficult thing for parents. Like you're so proud of your culture and identity, and then suddenly you've got to navigate how much do you let go of that? Is there a balance? A lot of parents feel that there's a fear that if I send my child to an international school, they're going to lose their culture and identity. And how do you help parents to see that actually that's adding, that's not taking away? But that's a really big part of what I'm doing at the moment, with parents.
Mhm. Mhm. And, just tell the listener how they can find you?
Yeah, so that's a very good segue, Victoria. It's almost like we planned it. I'm actually I actually I'm doing. There's lots of ways to get hold of me. You can find me on Instagram, Anthi Patricios. You can email me, info@anthipatrykios.com. I'm on Threads as well, which is like one of my new favorite hangout places, I have to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Mhm.
I'm not a fan of Instagram. I'm not a fan of social media at all.
At
I'm not going to
all?
lie.
Uh-huh.
No,
But
it's really
Threads is
hard for me.
okay.
But Threads feels okay. Um, and also, I'm doing a free webinar, at the end of March, all about how do you raise children overseas, but
Oh,
holding your
that's great.
identity and your culture.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's great. And,
yeah.
I make sure that, I will put, like, all the links from you
Mhm.
into the show notes of this episode.
Brilliant, brilliant.
So, listeners, you can find her there.
Yes.
All right. So I want to ask like one more like personal
Yeah.
question.
Uh huh.
So when you have vacation, do
Yeah.
you go back to the places where you lived before?
Oh, it's funny. Literally, just before my husband left to go out tonight, we were talking about our holiday this summer and discussing
Uh-huh.
what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
No, we do not go back. I would like to go back to Manila,
Mhm.
um, partly because actually our son's best friend, when we moved from Kenya to here, they moved from Kenya to Manila. So
Okay.
partly I would love to go and see them and see
Mhm.
it through their eyes. Um, but no, I don't like. I don't even like going back to London these days. I'm done with that. I've moved on. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. We go to Greece all the time, and
But this is because you have family?
we have, yeah, my cousins are there, my
Yeah.
aunt. We have a home there,
Mhm.
and our son likes to go to the home there. Like that for him is a very important
Okay.
thing. That's his anchor,
Uh-huh.
um, which we were not expecting. Like things that kids do that surprise you, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
we have this house, and it's not big. It's a little tiny house in a little village. But when we said we were leaving Kenya, the first thing he said was like, "Will we still have the house in the mountains?" My husband and I, he was 5, right? And we were like, "Yeah, yeah, that's ours." And he's like, "Okay, we can go wherever."
Okay, that's
Um,
fine, yeah. So maybe he
yeah,
just needs, like, an anchor
yeah.
somewhere.
So
Uh-huh.
that's it. But no, we don't go back. I would like to go back perhaps to Kenya one day, but it's too soon. And Do you know what it is? I knew Kenya very well. I'd worked there for decades before we moved there for international development stuff.
Mhm.
But one of my great joys in this life that we've chosen is that moment when you arrive somewhere new and you're learning all the time, like that lifelong learning piece all the time.
Mhm.
And I, when I say goodbye to a place, I'm ready to say goodbye to it.
Okay.
And then if I go back, it's never going to be the same.
Right. Yeah.
And I would rather just stay with that memory of the first
Uh-huh.
time. Yeah.
And is it then also when your community is like based on the teachers? Because I imagine they also leave, so you would not even have the people
Yeah.
at that place?
Quite often we our friends have left.
Uh-huh.
They've gone all over the world. Um, I work with some of them now because I do work with international schools. So if you have any listeners who are international school people, that is something I do. And I work with friends through that as well now. So they go to other schools and then I work with them in that capacity. But very few of our best friends are still in Manila. Most of them have gone elsewhere. In Kenya, one of my closest friends from Manila has just gone to Kenya. So that's kind of, I would go there perhaps to see him.
Mhm.
We tend to just kind of go around the same circuit. There's different types of international schools. And once you get into a certain type of school, you just kind of rotate around the world.
Okay. I see.
So you see people in passing, like,
Right. Okay, so they
oh,
all have then this they gonna stay in the same environment too. Okay, makes
yes,
sense.
like our son's kindergarten teacher in Manila, in Kenya, was a friend of ours from Manila. So you just sort of
So
cycle around.
you kinda always just change the scenery, but keep the people.
Yeah, yeah, right. And
Yeah.
by the time you retire, you probably know most of them. Like if you go
Yeah.
on LinkedIn and you look at teachers who've been teaching for like 30 years internationally, they've got like 5 million contacts because they've just, they basically know and you look at it and you're like,
Yeah.
you know, literally everyone I know.
Yeah.
It's like, when you go on Facebook and
Yeah.
you've got 50 friends in common, but you've
Yeah.
actually never been in the same school with any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing. So it's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're coming to an end. So thank you very much for being a guest.
Thank you. Thank you very much too. That was brilliant.
Okay. Thanks. All right.